we will start our today's news. The first one is very interesting, is in Ohio, Ohio University. So the first one is on Ohio University, Ohio News. So the website will be ohio.edu. And the title is called New Virtual Reality and Game Development Major Well Ready Students to Use Emerging Technology for Communications. So in this news, it talks about Ohio University is now offering a new undergrad major starting this fall in virtual reality and game development. It's called VRGD, and the VRGD program will teach students to use emerging technologies like virtual reality and digital games specifically for communication purpose. So pretty much the interesting thing is that now it seems like Ohio University is one of the top augmented reality and virtual reality college in the United States for 2021. And according to their program, they want, it will require the student to minor in either business or communication studies. And in addition to VRGD, they want students to get a lot of fields of studies, such as the VRGD students, they can access to motion lab, XR lab, cinematic, VR lab, and grid, GRID. GRID refers to game research and immersive design lab facilities. So I personally think that in this article, it says that the demand of future workers with experience in virtual reality and game development is growing. The United States games market, considered the world's second largest, just behind only China, is valued between $21 billion and $43 billion, depends on what types of source you get. But you see, like around, I would say, 25 to 40. Oh, hello. Hello, Rahul. Hello.
Hello, good evening. Yeah.
Oh, hi, good evening. Yeah, cool.
Interrupting you between. I'm very sorry. Please continue.
Yeah, sure. Yeah. So I want to give you a little recap, which we just talked about Ohio University. They are going to start a VRGD, which refers virtual reality and game development major starting this fall. And Ohio University is considered as the top AR/VR college in United States in this year, 2021. And all the students requires to minor either business or communication studies. So it means that not only the students need to learn the VR immersive game development skills, but also they need to learn either business or communication. So they don't want students just be the techie person. They want them to either learn business, right? Business is all about how to create something, create a system, and that the system kind of like a build generate money on its own. And communication means that not only the student needs to master in technology, but also they need to communicate with people and learn more like humanity part. So, and as for the students, they can access to a lot of really good resource in the Ohio University, including their motion lab, XR lab, cinematic VR labs, and GRID refers game research and immersive design lab facilities. And according to the research, the future workers with experience in virtual reality and game development is growing. The United States games market considered to be the world's second largest, just behind only China. It's valued between $25 billion and $43 billion. So yeah, so for me, the interesting part about AR, VR is that right now you see like we have a lot of top companies such as Walt Disney, EA, Ubisoft, Unity, Apple, Sony, like Google and Blizzard. They are right now is kind of like start integrating some AR, VR inside their system, and especially we all know that Apple is going to launch their very high end. We all know that once Apple launch a product, for example, like an AR glass, it will be like knock out the whole market. So yeah, so it's very interesting to see that Ohio University is starting their program and integrate with so many good existing resource, and then start creating another new students, or like creating a lot of like new programs for their students. So any thoughts for the news? Yeah, you can unmute yourself, and start talking, and I will mute myself.
Hi again. Actually, I think I tapped on the very right time here, Dominic. I'm the person who's handling the new vertical head for my new company, not mine. I'm working for some investor. Now, he is a businessman, a very old chain of businessmen from, the chains of in India. If you might know those Agarwal chains and those Ambani and Adani, the brands. I just give you a heads up of my intro. I'm a mechanical engineer, worked for 15 years in this field of automation, logistics, and robotics. Now, before pandemic, I changed this company. I shifted my career from the field of my own automation into the digital platform. Then we were incubating many companies, trying to tie up with them and how to start the business digital. So I had to create a data bank of all the companies around the world, people who are exposed into it. And India, it is happening a lot. Before that, I had to work with my company, XReality, which is, I worked for them for 9 years. And I was the key person for handling these kind of virtual realities, animation, emulation, simulation softwares, what they developed, okay? Right now, I was just looking up the institute who can, teach a 37-year-old guy with a 15 years of background of work. I had, I was reluctant to get into some college and with the students, with young age students, and rather get training in these kind of technologies. I was searching. I believe this is the right time. I just clicked onto this clubhouse just 6 days back, and now I'm meeting wonderful people. Can you just help me out in this? It will be possible for you to teach me, to guide me how I can be, maybe I can be connected with the people, connected with you, Ohio University, and how I can get trained into this technology. I know a little bit of it. I've used that, all that HTC, that VR platform, then we made some factory designs into it. We were doing all those designing with the virtual component in Temu 3D, and now I'm really much into it to get into AR and MR and XR. Mike, back to you, Dominic.
Yeah, sure. If you want to learn, more XR, actually, I have like the kind of like the game training workshop. Hello, can you hear me? Can you hear me right now?
Yes, I can hear you, Rahul.
Yeah. Hi, Stephanie.
Hi, nice to meet you. I've attended a few of Dom's XR weekly news, and it's really interesting to see the new emerging technologies in different areas. But I was going to wait to see if Dom had any response to your question.
Oh yeah, sure. I was about to say that actually I have a workshop just right after this one, and it's in the meetup. So if you go to my profile, I think you can probably email me, right? You can see my email on my profile, right? So do you want to email me and just say hi so I can send you a bunch of link related to XR training or learning?
Thank you.
Yeah, sure. Yeah. Hi, Stephanie. Do you have any thoughts about the news? Like Ohio University is going to provide the VRGD, virtual reality game development, these types of emerging major, and combined with a lot of cool labs facilities, and going to train the next generation of designer combined with the developer. Yeah. What do you think?
Yeah, no, I think it's really exciting to see that now this technology is starting to become a lot bigger within educational systems. They're recognizing the significance of this in their future, and I also thought it was really great that the program is also requiring students to minor in business or communication studies. So to not only have the skills in AR, VR, but like you were saying as well, understanding, how to implement that from a business sense, as well as if they want to become entrepreneurs, as well as how to communicate the technology to within the industry. So I'm excited to see where this goes, and I think more and more we're starting to see evidence that this is going to continue to develop into the new year. I'm excited to see what will come of this.
Yeah, this raises another interesting question between like one of my student session and me. One of my students said that asked me a question like, hey, Dom, I heard some people said that designer doesn't have to code. Designer doesn't have to learn how to code because designer only needs to be master in design. And I told her that, yeah, actually, you can definitely be a designer who doesn't know how to code, right? And who doesn't know anything else and only know design. It's fine. It will give you a fine genetic security, very secure job, right? But if you want to go up, or if you want to, be the person who kind of like be the early adapter, or be bold, right? Be ahead of your peers, or do something great. You kind of need to learn a little bit coding or a little bit business communication, not just only focus on design, right? It's great that you master in design, but design is kind of a collateral things such as culture, language, the way like psychology, right? A lot of different things combined together. If you learn how to code, then, a lot of stuff, opens. For example, if you know how to do like Unity, or if you know like a little bit hands-on executing softwares, it will open up the possibility of different behavior, gestures, right? And if you learn business, you know how to implement your design into a system and create something and solve more people's problem instead of making things beautiful, right? And the interesting things is like when I go to a company, or when I work with other teams, marketing, business, always, or solving people's problem, always prior to user experience. It's very interesting. For example, like when you go to an e-commerce website, there's always a pop-up asking you to sign up, log in or something, right? Ask you some of your information. This is not considered to be a good user experience because it's kind of hinder the user, but it's good for marketing, right? It's good for business to get, so they can remarketing you, they can connect with you. So it's interesting to see like if you are so user, like only know user experience and not really know like it's just part of the bigger system, right? Like business system or something bigger, right? It's just part of it. If you only know little thing, then you will like it first, it's hard for people to work with you because you couldn't talk in their language. You couldn't empathize people, right? And if you only know that little thing, and it's hard for you to create even more innovative behavior gesture because you are limited to your own little Figma file, right? You couldn't make it like envision it inside 3D, or you couldn't make a rapid prototype to communicate your idea better. So I would encourage you or encourage everyone just to learn enough to communicate or to do like a really simple, small interactive stuff. You don't have to master, like, oh, you are the expert. You don't have to, but you need to know enough for yourself to kind of start innovate some stuff or start integrating, right? And then also learn some business, communication, some art, some history, some other stuff that is out there. You don't have to master in those because we all know that everyone's time is limited, but it's good to open your mind and not just say, oh, this is coding, I'm not going to learn it. Yeah, so that's what I'm thinking, and I'm really happy to see that Ohio University is not only, like, oh, VR game development, you only need to learn those stuff and nothing else you can learn because you need to master in it in order to be an expert. But they kind of want their students to be open-minded, right? And kind of make them minor, at least business or communication. So, that will kind of enhance your VR design, not just like, oh, I know how to code. I know this motion, this tween like perfectly, right? Everything like 3D model, like the texture, lighting is perfect, but you know how to connect with people, how to make a really good immersive experience, and you know people, and you know how your design, VR design can put into a business and become the solutions of the business. Yeah, so I think this is very good measure, and I love to just like seeing that Ohio University is start integrating a lot of different measure and start merging, right? Merging different technology together. Right. So I'm really happy to see all those. Okay, so let's move on to the next news. Next news is on adweek.com. Adweek, ADWEEK, Adweek. And the title is called AT&T built a virtual reality island complete with a movie theater and a clothing store. So pretty much AT&T right now is about to hop on the so-called metaverse. Okay, metaverse is kind of a buzzword right now for AR and VR. So yeah, so pretty much in short, in this news, it talks about AT&T is going to create a game like a metaverse for people to socialize. Like when people start socializing and they don't really know each other, the best icebreaker is a small, simple game, right? If you don't know somebody and the avatar looks, kind of like it's not the real person, everyone is having like a virtual avatar. In order for them to kind of start talking, and it's very good to kind of start creating some small simple games so people can start communicate, start playing together, and start making friends. So they partner with the company called VR Chat Activation. VR Chat Activation. So VR Chat is kind of like a social platform that allows people to create their avatar and play some simple games and start chatting inside the virtual space. And also they partner another lifestyle clothing brand called 100 Thieves. I went to the site 100 Thieves. They are pretty much selling a lot of clothing and hoodies, or a lot of stylish clothing. So pretty much in AT&T's like the first experimental hub, metaverse, so-called metaverse, they are trying to start putting a lot of entertainment and also like experience some e-commerce shop. So pretty much if you are in the AT&T metaverse, you can start shopping, right? You can start shop some clothes from 100 Thieves, and just by clicking, you can see a lot of clothing like demonstrate there, and you can click and see the details of the clothes, even though it's in the 3D, avatar or like 3D model, but like the 3D model looks really real. So you can pretty much feel how the clothes looks, and you can kind of directly order inside AT&T's metaverse. And also you can watch HBO Max, right? You can watch movies inside AT&T's metaverse. So yeah, so it's very interesting that a lot of companies right now is start creating, defining, or start experiencing like the concept of metaverse, which means right now, so far I read a bunch of articles. It seems like metaverse right now, people are trying to define it right now. And the current, a lot of online articles talking about metaverse right now is more like decentralized, right? First is decentralized, and also it's a digital platform, allows everyone to start doing the normal things that you will be in the physical world. For example, you can go to metaverse and buying stuff, right? And people or business owner can create their little shops creatively inside metaverse, right? You can, make your company looks really cool or something, right? And you can change your avatar. It's like you will have another second life inside a digital dimension, right? So it's very interesting to see that early exploration for AT&T to start integrating movies, entertainment, and e-commerce inside that socialization or like social metaverse. Yeah, any thoughts for this?
Tom, I already sent you a link of the message. I believe this is the right platform which we're talking about right now. Is it right? Just check it out once.
Oh, yeah. I mean, on my profile, right? You can see like, you can see my profile, right? The Clubhouse profile. You can see my profile, and my email is in my profile. So if you want to send me a message, and I will reply you with some of the my workshop information or some XR stuff. Hello. Yeah. So pretty much you can see my profile, right? My
of the same VR station that we talked about, AT&T VR station.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, sure. Okay, so yeah, Stephanie, do you have any thoughts?
I have a question. So when you were explaining a new station where users can immerse themselves in this movie theater experience as well as shop the merchandise, are users able to try on the merchandise and actually purchase it in real life? Or is this just in the digital world? The avatars will wear this clothing?
I think right now, as far as I know, you can purchase it. I watched the trailer, and you can see like they put their clothes, right? Before it was on the e-commerce platform, but now you can pretty much, yeah, I think it's the physical one. As for try on, I think right now on the trailer, I didn't see try on, but you can see, like the 3D model and like Windows Shop, right? It's on 3D format and you can start seeing the texture stuff. But since you are in the avatar, right? So the virtual try on might make you feel good, but it's not real you. But as far as I know, on AT&T's platform right now, you can order and purchase immediately, which they didn't say that in the article. It didn't say that you can. It's the avatar clothes or not. But personally, when I perceive this news, I think it's the physical clothes. So you can go to the Windows shop in Metaverse, and then you can buy it immediately, and it will probably send to your physical house. Yeah, that's what I perceived. Yeah, so I think this is a very interesting, something similar to Snapchat, right? You can use your AR lens and start scanning stuff, or you can try a lot of AR lens and see which product you like, and you can click and you can immediately purchase the real stuff. You can just go to checkout and buy stuff, and the stuff will send to your home, and you can kind of like virtual try on, or like virtual kind of experience it. And then when you click a button, the product will send directly to your place. Yeah.
Yeah, that's really interesting. I think about especially during the time of COVID and, initially not wanting to go into any stores to try on clothing. So to be able to implement this type of technology where you could, see the clothing, and I mean, it would be great if eventually you would be able to try on the clothing to a certain extent, but also with the technology be able to actually touch the texture and feel like the thickness of the clothing. Because there's have been times when I've ordered clothes online and I read through the reviews and through the description, but when it actually comes, I'm a little disappointed with the product, and it wasn't what I expected in terms of like the material, for example. And another thing you stated was, for even small businesses who may not have as much resources to be able to design a store in the way that they want it to look, that without spending as much money as it would to actually physically or build it in the physical world. So that's neat.
Yeah, I think as for for the try on thing, actually right now there are a lot of companies or start making some sensors in VR. For example, like I forgot the name, but you can pretty much smell the scent of the product, or for example, when you watch a movie and in VR, you can wear that device, kind of cover your nose or something. And when, for example, when someone fart, or when there's a bump, right, and you can smell the dynamite, or you can smell all the different scents and kind of correspond in with your view, with everything you see inside VR space. So that can be one to be implemented, because we all know that in order to be super immersive, just like we are in the real world, we need like sand, pretty much eyes cover. If you cover our eyes, right, make like a visual immersive experience, pretty much you can cover the majority of our the brain. Like the brain will kind of start thinking about we are in that space. But the smell, right? The smell can really make the difference of really inside that VR space. And also touch, right? Right now there are some VR glove pretty much being invented, but still like in the not really mature stage. But some people start really dive into the sense of touch, just like you said that different materials feels different, right? And also there are some some motion sensors, or some suits. If you go online and search Tesla suit, it can sense, or it can correspond some, simple touches of your body, right? For example, if you are being punched, or, if you there's a vibration, there's a heat inside VR space, the suit will, start implementing all those data inside the suit and make you feel that you there's a fire near you, and the suit will turn on the heat, so you feel it's hot. Yeah, so I would say that. And there's another very interesting device. I forgot the name, but when you wear it, it will do some motions on your face. For example, if you play some, fighting games, and if someone blow your face, and pretty much that device will punch your face, so you feel real. So right now, yeah, I think right now, every company is trying to create a metaverse, and the technology is trying to meet there. So in the future, just like you said, that yeah, sometimes we feel disappointed about the product, but if we can integrate all those, sensors, scent, and also visual, right, and maybe audio, right, and all those sense, if we can integrate together, then we can pretty much feel everything like real in the virtual world. And we can buy stuff online, and then you just click the purchase, and stuff will send to your physical world. Or you can purchase the avatar version or the digital version of that clothes, so make your second life looks cool and fancy. So yeah, so it's very interesting to see like the early stage of the metaverse, and a lot of big companies start investing those types of reality. Okay, the last news is called non-fungible tokens are revolutionizing the art world and art theft. Okay, so in this news, it talks about a lot of people right now is very into like NFT, which is called non-fungible token. Non-fungible token pretty much is similar to Bitcoins. People talk about NFT is pretty much using the cryptocurrency and to digitize the art and also crypt that art, so it's not only decentralized, but also it can be trade, right? And it's so unique. Whoever owns it, whoever gets the key code, right, gets transferred and will own the art. And this will cost a lot of it's good, and sometimes things has two coins. Like it's like coins. There are two sides. So the good side about it is it's decentralized, and also there are not gatekeepers, and you also can start working on a lot of uniqueness of the art. Inside this article, it talks about one artist even burned his physical or his real paintings in the real world just because he wants to make his NFT art, the art in the using cryptocurrency or using blockchain crypt that NFT art so unique. So he pretty much burned his paintings, which is a little extreme, but it seems like a lot of people right now is very into it. And as far as I know, that there are so many crazy price or crazy crazy exchange for the NFT art. For example, someone sold a few $1 million, 69, $70 million for a piece of art. So some people start thinking about maybe you can do a lot of money laundering, right, through NFT. And also, I don't know that part, but it's very interesting to see a lot of price that when I see the art, I don't really feel it's is valued like $100 million or something, but it's just the price is extremely crazily high. And also, like musician and artist Greens, she sold a collection of digital artwork for almost $6 million and using NFT. Yeah, it's very interesting. Like a lot of people know how to use NFT and make monies. But the thing about NFT is that there are a lot of apps. If you download some NFT or some of those apps, you can pretty much generate. For example, you click a button, right, and the computer or the app will generate NFT art for you. You don't need to learn how to draw. You don't need to learn anything, right? And you can start creating your NFT art and start selling just by clicking a button, right? So some people start thinking about, hey, a lot of non-creative people, right? They didn't even receive any art education. They start making art. They start selling NFT arts. I don't know whether this is good or not, but some people start concerning that we lose the sense of beauties by massively creating, like super easy art and selling in the NFT market. And also it's so easy to steal some other people's work or control. For example, if you are the artist, right? And you put things out there, since it's not really, belongs to you, sometimes, if someone wants to, steal your work, there are some ways that you couldn't even control your work if it is being out there. Some people, like when I saw this news, some people even kind of like there's a really interesting ways. I think there's a interesting like I think it's platform or something. It allows people to tokenize web page or tweets that the user didn't even own. So for example, if I see this tweet, I like it and I tokenize it and I start selling it. Yeah, it's very weird that cryptocurrency or like blockchain should be invented to just protect and decentralize. But it's also because probably it's too advanced. There's no rules. Nobody is kind of defining how we need to do things. And if someone likes something, online and they just, tokenize it and start selling it in NFT, then even the true artist or the true owner, right, true writers couldn't even own their piece of things in NFT world. So yeah, so I find out this is a very interesting things, and right now it's happening right now. And the thing about it is that I think in metaverse, right? Because we all concerned about our privacy being stolen, or because our everything is digitalized, right? And there's someone who hosts the server of this metaverse, get all the data of everyone, right? So you couldn't even escape if you are in the physical world, right? A lot of stuff that companies cannot get your data, right? But if everything about you is digitized, and someone who hosts a server, they can get everything about you. So that's why I think blockchain is important, because it's kind of secure people's privacy. But there are some other issues since it is in the early stage. There's no regulations and people start exploring and problems start coming up. Yeah, so yeah, any thoughts of the NFT tokens, like art or some other areas that you have thoughts about this article?
Yeah, I have a question about your thoughts on like copyright. Because if an artist creates a piece of work, I'm just curious. I'm just thinking about like how copyright would work in terms of, someone taking your artwork and then selling it or tokenizing it. And the other part of it, another thing I was thinking about was, I think recently, or there was in the NBA, they sold some highlights of top shots within basketball for a large amount of money. I think $200 million. And how does that work if someone purchases it? Because people still have access to watch these highlights. However, someone just owns it, and then do they have a right to then remove people's access to it? I'm still trying to understand, how NFTs work.
Yeah, good question. Actually, for me, I still really don't know how NFT will work, and people are trying to understand how NFT works by doing it, right? Because at the early stage, we don't know what will happen, and we just let everyone jump in, right? And when problems start start showing up, when there are a lot of problems and people start saying no, right? Someone will start setting up a regulation and start, kind of eliminate some bad behaviors. So for me, I think NFT right now is still, I would say, still really, really new. And if you see somebody, for example, in the real world, it because of the law, right? Law, I think a lot of copyrights or something, it's just start inventing. I think it's the history is not as long as some other law regulation, right? It's kind of being invented in right now, right? Kind of I would say probably I don't really know when the copyright being invented, but it seems like it's just because of industrial revolution, and right now we are in the information revolution. So during this time, we kind of come up with the copyright regulation or rules, right, to protect people who are original created. And NFT, it's just something that happens these years, and it's not mature enough. So right now we find out there are a lot of problems. For example, if someone who didn't own that creation, but they tokenize it. Once you tokenize it and you own that key, and even the original author couldn't access it. It's not belong to that author anymore. It's someone who see that art, loves it, and tokenize it, and becomes that thief, right? So there are a lot of things good about NFT is that it's decentralized. But if you kind of play the rule, right, kind of, this is kind of a technology. It's not good or bad, right? And we all know it's decentralized and it's really secure, and whoever owns that token becomes the owner. But if the owner cannot even access to his own token, then there are some problems, right? So I would say that right now we start finding out a lot of problems about NFT. Then once this problem, because right now I believe only new adapters start purchasing and start playing around. So right now it's just, some problem showing up, right? And NFT, as far as I know, that in Asia, China even, kind of declare that Bitcoin or cryptocurrency is illegal, right? So right now it seems like NFT is still something between, right now in United States it's legal, right? But there are a lot of stuff especially cryptocurrency or NFT still kind of being related to, selling something in black market and you pay cryptocurrency. It's still good. A lot of people, big companies, exploring this part, but when in the real usage, people will use it to do some other things, right? So I would say that the technology itself is very advanced, and how we can kind of control and how we can define the rules when the majority of the population start using it. For example, we start to use Bitcoins as our everyday life, right? And if there are a lot of thieves and cause a lot of people's trouble. And it becomes the news, and people start, the Congress start, setting up the rules, right? For example, like privacy. I would say in 10 years ago, nobody cares, right? But right now, everyone start caring about it. And we start having laws, even though, social media has been a while, right? At least 20 years, right? 10 years, 20 years, right? And now I think the privacy settings is become stricter and stricter. So every technology, it takes 10 to 20 years to be mature. And NFT, I would say, it's just like 1 or 2 years babies. And it could probably start having some good things happening and bad things happening just as the early stage. And once more and more people involve it, and more crime or more stuff happening, then it kind of affects a lot of people's life. Then I think the law or the government will start making regulations and more study case and start making a better law. And the thing about our government is that they are the last people who know the technology. Yeah, so they are not really technology aware of a lot of things. They are more traditional, right? So yeah, I would say whatever your concern is definitely whatever I concern, because copyright, you cannot just, tokenize somebody's work and claim it's your own and sell in the NFT world. It's totally illegal, but there's no laws right now. So this is not right, but you couldn't really call the police, right? And a lot of people in NFT world is pretty much anonymous. And how can you even get the person if you don't know the name, the address, you don't know the person, right? Anonymous. So yeah, it's very interesting things. And I believe if NFT can survive and become, more and more people involved, then the government will do something to protect it. And now there's no solution. It's just a new thing. And if you kind of got stolen, it's just like, yeah, consider bad luck, or, trying to lock your visitor and trying to get people logging with their true information before, before showing anything or something. But it's hard if someone just look up Twitter and kind of, doing some NFT, some tokenize your work, then it's really, really hard to prevent. Yeah. Cool. Thank you everyone for joining me today. And yeah, so I will see you next time. And hopefully, I hope that you like today's news. Okay. Thank you so much. And I will see you next time. Yeah, next Saturday, 9 o'clock. Thank you. Bye-bye.
Thank you, Tom.
Thank you.
Thank you. Bye-bye.